Hey guys, how's it going? Omar here, Danny.
Danny
And
here.
This is episode 3. Yeah,
Episode 3, yeah.
official, like what we put in
Yeah,
out.
official episode 3. Yeah.
So yeah, guys. Actually, we didn't plan on talking about this, but Daniel, his mom sent him some of his old stuff, and we came across some,
some of the gems from the old days, man. I mean, Sopranos season 6, part 1. And obviously, I watched. I mean, that's like I think I can come clean now. There's a statute of limitations, right? I used to torrent all this stuff back in the day, so I only felt it right to buy like the last season. So I bought season 6, part 1 and part 2. So for the camera, we got the Sopranos over there, and then the show.
I never messed with Sopranos. Like, I haven't watched it, so I can't say if I like it. Or not,
I don't want to ruin it by talking about it, but I will recommend it to everybody who's interested in high quality TV, because this is
until today, like you say, still
till today still. It started in
because
1999.
some shows have not aged well.
True. I mean, this is kind of periody. Like, they'll be like, give me that cell phone over there. You know what I mean? Or it's like a flip phone. But yeah, no. Even if some things feel a little dated, it's definitely like it's my number 2 show of all time.
And what do we got next?
Got next is the show that would you say there's raised you as well?
I don't know about Ray. I mean, because like raised with me, like what age are you like?
I mean, I started watching this in like 05, 06. I would have been 9, 10. Because this used to go on HBO in India, and I used to watch it there. I used to watch this like episode, like rando episodes.
So I actually caught up on it late. Like I think I started watching when it was season 5, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And then like once I saw season 4 or 5, and when I watched, I was like, yo, shit. And then I went back and like,
So
I guess statute of limitation, guys. I did, illegally download it.
So the show we're talking about is the ultimate bro show of the 2000s. Is Entourage. I got season 1 over here, and you can see the poster like head on, Vinny Chase head on over there, and who's that girl in the back, man? I don't even know who.
But it was cool. Like I haven't watched it back.
Boys from Queens.
I actually watched the movie like not too long ago, over again. But the show, like at the time, it gave you an insight on Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which at least from the shows I saw, I didn't see it before. Yeah. There's obviously the comedic element, with like the Turtle and Johnny Drama, of course. And
none of those jokes have aged well at all, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely not fly in today's era. But yeah, man, dope show. And then obviously, last but not least,
the Godfather. There we go. Right, I got the Coppola restoration when I was in I think I was like 13, and I went out and I bought this. And it's got the 3 movies plus.
What is that making of? Or?
It's called supplements. So it's like deleted scenes and some Coppola. What's it called? Commentary.
I was actually really just this week. Like, how did I come up? I think because these guys were doing promo for The Irishman or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I also I was bored, so I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching something, and anyway, I was just like. And there's this channel, I can't remember the name of the channel, but this guy, he's interviewed some mob guys. And so he interviewed the guy who was who married Michael's sister and Corleone's, Don Corleone's daughter or whatever, right? And he abuses her, whatever. Yeah. So that guy, he's not even an actor. He's got this is his story, but he wasn't an actor. He wasn't even a mobster himself, but he'd worked with the mob, things like that. Yeah. And he knew all these guys. He's around, the Sinatras, all those guys.
Yeah.
And just he has some wild stories how it even happened. Apparently, they say Italians. I don't know. Is that a thing? Cause so they show power, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, he's from New York.
Yeah.
And he says Italians. Is that a thing?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, because I was because he says it on the show. He's a New York gangster. But anyway. So apparently, the Italian Americans, they didn't mess with it. And even the mob bosses, they didn't mess with when they found out the movie's going to be made, whatever. And this guy apparently played an instrumental role of getting all those guys together, with this lawyer who represented them, blah, blah, blah. And he told the director that, hey, if I sort this shit out, you guys got to give me a role. And so that's what this guy, he's not an actor or anything. And then, he played that role. And I think he's even played in other movies and shit. And he has some mad stories about the real mob. And, he's even hooked up with Marilyn Monroe, and like that's what he bonded with what's his name, Marlon Brando, and like so it's an interesting interview. If I like find the name, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll put it up in the description or whatever. We'll shout out the other.
Yeah.
Is it a podcast or is it what is it?
He just like he interviews like all kinds of people, like interesting, like business people,
Okay,
mob
okay.
guys, things like that. He's like a Iranian American guy, or whatever.
Okay. Like Maz
So-
Jobrani.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So but yeah, guys, we just came across.
Yeah,
this,
it was
we
really
thought,
cool, man. We just because I got the box over there, and it's
Yeah.
full of like my old Xbox games, and like I mean, I used to like buy DVDs and stuff back in the day. It was like like 06, 07, So we were just started with the the pirating and stuff like that. And obviously, growing up in Bahrain, we didn't get like HBO, we didn't get like AMC, we didn't get shows, we didn't get those
Yeah,
channels.
even if you wanted to pay for it,
Even if we wanted to pay for it, I don't think we could get HBO at the time.
because they had like a bunch of like foreign stuff here.
Yeah,
But
out here, yeah. No,
my
here,
parents
no.
don't want to pay for it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Back in like 06, 07, were you getting stuff? Like you get HBO and like
Yeah, I'm
all the
pretty
big
sure
shows,
they had
yeah?
like a lot of shit here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't.
I know
like-
they had the
If it wouldn't even be like HBO, like the USA one, it'll be like this region, like something like that. So
yeah, because I know in India my grandparents had HBO, and that's how I first watched Entourage.
I don't even. I'm trying to think how I even came across the show. I cannot remember. But I remember like I came across it, I watched. I was like, yo, like I gotta watch it. Then I
Yeah.
watched it all back, and like it was dope.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
that was like a thing. Like for sure, like growing up, like this was definitely. I'm trying to think what other like shows I watched. What do you watch?
so I watched all these these sort of adulty shows, but at the same time I watched a lot of kid stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I really like. I think one of the best shows from my childhood would easily have to be Samurai Jack. Did you remember watching that?
Yeah, but I wasn't like messing with it like
You
that.
didn't mess with it heavy?
Cause I think it's also because I'm a bit older, so my time was like Ed, Ed and Eddie.
I mean, yeah, I grew up on this too, man.
Yeah, and like Powerpuff Girls.
That whole
Powerpuff
unit.
Girls Loki was like kind of nice.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's
cool. It
like-
was superheroes.
Cause like I still remember, right? So I used to come home from school, and it was almost like in order. It was usually like Dexter's Laboratory.
yeah.
They'd have like Powerpuff Girls and like some shit. So I don't know. I never really got into Samurai Jack, but that was there. But that was like when we were skilled. What about like in the teens and stuff? What do you?
In the teens and
I
stuff,
was like Gossip Girl. Was
I actually didn't get into that until it was a bit later, like maybe like sort of ending towards my teens, like 15, 16.
yeah, like
I didn't get into Gossip Girl until I got out here. Actually,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, that was like 2012.
I
something
was
like that.
when I think I was probably in like year 9, year 10.
Oh yeah,
Got into that.
the right time, because you would have been in school and stuff like that.
Yeah, but wanted to have something in common with the chicks.
Yeah.
Not a good.
Nah, man, I grew
But
up.
yeah, I watched like that 90210, all the BS.
Oh
like,
yeah, all the Star World shows, Is that channel still on? I don't even know.
Star World.
Yeah.
Star Wars on, but so in America those are all like CW shows.
Yeah.
So it was like 90210, One Tree Hill,
Mm-hmm.
One Tree Hill 2, which was like the drag of the century.
Yeah.
And then like Gossip Girl, and there was this the OC. Did you watch the OC?
I know all these shows. Like,
I watched the OC too.
I don't
That was a
watch the
dope
OC,
show.
yeah.
And then obviously like Friends and stuff.
Yeah, so I actually completely missed the Friends train. I mean, I didn't
Oh,
miss
yeah?
it. It would be on, but I'm actually, I don't know. It's weird because everybody my age loves that stuff, but I actually got onto the How I Met Your Mother train, right? Because I was like, that came out in 05, and before that I was just watching too many cartoons. I wasn't watching like any like real people shows.
Yeah.
And then I started watching like How I Met Your Mother, and I just kind of got hooked onto that. And I was like, dude, I can only do one sitcom,
I watched How I Met Your Mother, but for me, it's not like even though it's there on Netflix now, but I can't like go back and watch.
Yeah,
it.
because
don't have
it
that.
ended pretty badly, in my opinion.
It was
anyway.
just like I thought Ted Mosby was so annoying. Like he'd always like, and it was also this is how much I don't know. Like there was some like annoying parts, and like it was cool. I used to watch it, especially it was on like I think it was on Star World. But yeah, like it's not one of those things like I'd go back. Like Friends like it hasn't aged too badly,
Yeah,
especially because the times have changed so much since then.
yeah,
And I remember like it being a huge. So I think the finale was like 02, 03, and that was like a huge deal, And like obviously like my dad used to watch it, so I'd like sort of see it like walking by and stuff, and then obviously like I started watching it, and then I actually got onto The Office late, but that show, man,
Yeah.
dude, that's my shit, man. I think like as far as comedy shows go, I think that might be the best.
Everyone rates that so high, and because I only watched the first episode like 2 months ago,
Okay.
and I was just like, yeah, dude, I think I missed this one. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. The thing is I'm gonna have to spend some time to get into it.
Yeah.
It's just time I don't have nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I do feel like I'm missing out because you see loads of memes and a lot of people like
Yeah.
very like a lot of my friend group. A lot of people I think are very alike with me. They rate The Office so high, but I don't, man.
I don't know. It's just like Steve Carell and that, and just the writing. It's a
Yeah.
massacre because like it's so hard to do like someone silly
Yeah,
and get away with it. Like
Yeah.
like if you see like back in the days when you used to watch the comedy movies and stuff, it was like the silly like that was like an easy way to like be funny, right? He's just like stupid with it. But like the way he pulls it off and the way it's relatable too,
Yeah.
like it's just that was for me that is like masterclass.
Yeah.
Like that is an excellent and I love like comedy shows
Yeah.
and like
And I mean, The Office gave birth to a lot of the what's it called? It gave birth to like Modern Family, you could say, because that too is
Really?
mockumentary style, isn't it? And that too's got like the sort of lovable idiots and just silly comedy. I mean, Modern Family is I'd say a little more.
But
toned
Modern
down.
Family, it doesn't like the documentary, the mockumentary style.
Yeah.
Like it's not so like in The Office. They actually like sometimes address like the cameraman and stuff.
Yeah.
And so if the end of The Office, that it's actually like they're showing it as if like, okay, so this documentary is complete, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the case. In
No,
like,
I wouldn't say that's the case in Modern Family.
but just like the way it's shot, like
just the style, like how you can have comedy with like the characters explaining the jokes or whatever.
Modern Family was dope too. I
Yeah,
love that shit.
I really
like-
did like. I like that quite a bit. And then obviously, like like all good things, they go sour at some point. And I haven't watched since like season 8, something like that. Season 8. I haven't.
I haven't watched the last couple because I don't know where to get it. Like because
Yeah.
I don't do like the piracy thing anymore.
Yeah, we don't torrent anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
No, like guys on the real. And I don't know, it's not like on Netflix or anything.
yeah.
So didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yo, so Disney Plus launched a little while ago.
Yeah, I've been like hearing about it, but it's only like USA or is
No.
it like-
I mean, actually no. Yeah, my boy doesn't have Disney Plus out here, but he's got Plex. And that's like Plex is like a little bit of a gray area. So what you do is you like you kind of get like I don't know how it works exactly, but you have a server. Now you can either subscribe to a server, or you can make your own server, and you just upload all your stuff onto there, and anybody can access. Like up to 5 accounts can access it.
Yeah, I don't think that's legal.
Alright. So the thing is, like, my boy pays like €2 a month to some website. It's got a website and everything, it's like a whole thing.
Does
and
not
he,
matter.
and he gets access to just about everything. He's got like HBO shows. He's got we were just watching The Mandalorian now. That's a Disney Plus show.
Okay.
He gets movies like 2019 movies. Sometimes just as soon as they come out, he gets a good quality rip.
Okay.
So rip clearly. So yeah, some's illegal. Yeah, you know what? Someone's definitely fishy about that. But my bro's got Plex, and it's not like it's just all of his movies. Like he'll buy stuff from like Amazon or whatever. He'll upload it onto his server and he'll keep his Plex on. So say he goes to say he goes to India or something like that. As long as he's got his Plex on his iPad or whatever, he can watch his movies there. He doesn't have to lug his whole PC with him. You know what I mean? So in that way, it is cool. But I mean,
It's borderline.
it's user sensitive. Let's
Yeah.
just say it's user sensitive.
Because I know like Apple, they've got their thing too now.
Oh, dude, that looks really.
And,
that actually looks really good. What's it called? The morning show.
Although
Yeah.
Steve called, I didn't get a chance to. Is Apple what's the streaming service
It's called Apple streaming service, I think, isn't it?
Is it? I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
It's not. That's not catchy enough for Apple. Apple don't be having bullshit titles. No, but look, I saw like I think I saw Jennifer Aniston like doing one of the promo rounds. She's talking. It looked cool, and like Steve Carell, he's like he's.
I think even Julia Roberts got a show on there. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
But, it looks stacked.
I mean,
man.
Apple got the bread.
And they got
so,
the bread
like,
to put
it's-
behind it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, so
gonna-
did Disney, honestly, man. Apparently, the Mandalorian ranks really high with a lot of people, and I watched the episode, and it was pretty good. I really liked that.
But do they have any like new shows, or is it still like the old stuff, like the Marvel stuff?
Yeah, this got the Marvel collection. I mean, look, obviously I don't have Disney Plus. This was on Plex, but
Yeah.
as I understand it, they have the Marvel collection.
Mm.
They got all the old movies and stuff. Because all that stuff's gone off Netflix now.
Oh, yeah.
All the Disney stuff's gone. So they probably have like, I mean, it's Disney, so they probably have like, what you used to watch back in the day, man. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Wizards of Waverly Place, Hannah Montana. Who knows?
Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, maybe they got that shit back on there.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't know. I gotta check it out. I
you're
don't know.
You're gonna start paying for all this shit. You think?
Man,
There's
that's
a
the
lot of
thing.
that,
It's
It's
like,
a lot of money. Yeah.
dude. So that. So I was actually like, so yesterday was a big match, Man City versus Chelsea. I was watching this True Geordie. He does like a fight companion kind of thing, but football companion. They were talking about how much like they have to pay to watch sports and shit, and it's a madness. Like even for us, it's not too bad. Like if you're out here, it's like $11. You get beIN Sports,
Yeah.
and you can watch like pretty much all the football, like the major leagues. And you get like NBA, NFL. Even like cricket and so it's like pretty much stacked. But then even on top of that, like now I'm starting to see it because like okay, so you got the music streaming, Spotify.
Got Spotify.
That's for like $10.
Yeah.
Then you got Netflix, like 11. Let's just I mean the basic bitch package is like you gotta have Spotify, you gotta have beIN Sports, you gotta have Netflix. And now another problem is so Fight TV. That's just blowing up. It's not even like blowing up, but they're using that now for pay-per-view fights.
Okay.
So like back in the day, like boxing, like yo, out here, we never paid for that shit, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like
Yeah.
gotta get on that. Like
And now if you want DAZN, you gotta get DAZN, right?
I don't even know like the whole DAZN thing over here,
Yeah.
but I know like I think even this Wilder fight, it was on Fight TV.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's cheaper than like USA, like pay-per-view and stuff, but it's still like. You want to keep up with that.
Yeah.
$10 here, and now like
And
Disney.
I was just talking this the other day. So I got all those subscriptions. So I got Netflix, Spotify, RuneScape still.
What?
Yeah, I got my RuneScape membership. I made an account in the States and I played for like a week straight, and I got so far because all I was doing was just playing RuneScape and going.
Is it the same?
I was playing old school RuneScape. Yeah, it's like the OG one. Yeah.
And like people still on
Yeah,
it?
yeah, loads, man. Plenty, bro. Plenty still.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's still dope, man. It's still dope. It's still fun. RuneScape's all about the grind, so yeah, I did that for like a week straight, and then I was like, I gotta be a member, man. So I paid for membership, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna get a year. Like, who's gonna do that? It's been about 4 months now that I've been paying about $11 a month, and I haven't played in like a month and a half. So I'm like, dude, shit, I probably need to cancel that or start playing a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I got Dropbox. What else do I got?
Unused again.
Yeah, what else do I got? I got a bunch of other
Dude, that's the thing with some of
So,
these
yeah,
like
I got Amazon Prime as well.
oh yeah.
And within Amazon Prime, I pay like $15 a month for HBO, which I don't even get out here in the UAE.
Also, yeah, that's the thing because I actually
Yeah.
wanted to get HBO, but it was like
Yeah, it's not available out here. Because I was doing it in the States, because I was like, when I was in the States, I was watching a lot of Succession. Succession's a really good show on HBO right now. You should guys, if you have access to it, please watch it. Years and Years, which is also a really good show. Kind of makes you sad though. And
Okay.
Euphoria, which is also like, I mean, I won't say it's a good show, but like maybe not storytelling, but just visually it's so fucking beautiful to look at, and it's very relatable with the teens and stuff now, So
I actually wanted to watch it because LeBron, he has a show on it. I forgot what it's called, but like he has a couple guys like rappers.
The barbershop talk.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So he has a couple guys on it that talk about. I wanted to see because like even that like I don't want to like bootleg that thing. So I was trying to do it, but like I can't like it's not in the region.
Yeah, no, because it's got Zendaya in it, and she's kind of like I'd say maybe like she's about my age, man. She's about like, but this gen's kind of like superhero, She's super Zendaya. She's mad successful. She's like 23.
I don't know what's her deal. So I do like see stuff about her on social media, but I don't know exactly what she does.
I mean, she started out on Disney, and then
I know she was like kind of fine, like she's alright. Like, but what did she do?
I mean, she started out on Disney, and then she did some other stuff. She like launched her like a fashion label or whatever. She did a bit of modeling, and then she got on Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. She's MJ. And then she did some other stuff. Like then she got on Euphoria, and now she's kind of blown up. And social media, whatever.
She
had a
like sing and stuff too.
She can sing, yeah. You
Cans like does she have songs out? Or?
I think she does. I'm not sure, but in Euphoria, she sings a track, and it's. I thought it was Beyonce singing. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was Beyonce singing. I was like, oh damn man, Beyonce did the soundtrack. It was actually Zendaya singing. I was like, no fucking way, no way. That's talent, and she's pretty talented. Honestly, she's very talented. And the show's good. It's about high school, so maybe not too relatable nowadays, but it's shot really well. It looks really good, and it's like 2018, 2019 high school. So
I actually heard
of the
about
things were
her like
addressed.
also in this podcast, and they were talking about how like she's one of those girls like she sort of intentionally like tries to look bad kind of thing. And, that's like a wave kind of like
What do you mean?
where they sort of like don't try like that. Like if you remember like back in the days where like
okay.
they had like the push-up bra, like
Yeah,
a nice
okay,
dress,
okay.
hair done.
Yeah, a girl who
hair
just kind of
day,
look
like,
natural or whatever, like a no makeup day.
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
whatever, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my forte, not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
But she had a really good interview on Vogue. The 73 questions.
Yeah.
She had a good one on there.
Yeah.
She gave some good points.
I'll check some of our stuff out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So sorry, guys, we even.
We got super
Chatting
sidetracked.
about this,
Very sidetracked.
But yeah, man. So how's the week, man? So this is week 6.
I
of
lost
war?
count.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but-
I think maybe week 6.
So you're sort of like pretty deep
Yeah,
into like
I'm
the
in-
career now,
Yeah.
and
I like it, man. I do like it. But as you can see, we were talking about it earlier. I was like, yeah, man, sometimes the work piles up. You got to be able to deal with it. And I'm the kind of guy, like, if I kind of let down my boss or whatever, I kind of feel bad about it. Because I'm like, man, I was doing really well, like, at my last thing. At least I felt I was doing really well at that. And yeah, sure, I was making a bunch of mistakes. But now when I make a mistake, I'm just twice as hard on myself. And I'm like,
Why was it like a stupid mistake? Or?
yeah, it's just like, I'm not like, I procrastinate like a second too longer or whatever, or like I make some silly decisions. Like I'll be like, oh, this, that. I won't double check something before I send it, and she'll be like, yo, this is a repeat. Like you said this twice already. I'm like, oh, fucking hell, man. Come on.
Damn.
A rookie mistake, Daniel. You know what I mean? But I'm ironing that stuff out, and I'm moving down. I moved down from 5 drafts to now 4. And now we're going to do 3, 2, 1. That's like the process. I mean, I'm not actually doing 5 drafts, but like just kind of using that as an analogy to say like, a little bit better every day. And I'm doing it, man. Today I did, today was good. That's why I'm tired. I'm kind of like nodding off, but it's good because I worked pretty hard today.
How does it feel? Because like on one part, it's like the, I'm sure there's like satisfaction. You put in a shift, good day's work and stuff.
Yeah.
But then also like, we grew up on Entourage and things like that, and we sort of,
Yeah.
because like it's one of those things. Like I was sort of having those weeks. So it's one of the like. I'm sure like a lot of you guys can relate. Sometimes you just like, even though like nothing's wrong happened, it's just like you just feel like Debbie Down or like just like life or whatever.
I mean, so but when we were growing up, I'd say like stuff like Entourage and all these sort of movies and shows and stuff like that. They show us that high life.
Yeah.
That we'd be like we want to do.
Yeah.
Because remember in season 1, like Vinny goes up and buys a Rolls Royce Phantom. And then he returns it like the next day because he's like, he's like, man, we look like jerk offs in that thing, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, dude, I want to do that, I'd be like, yo, I want to live in a big house with my boys,
Yeah.
and like get a dog and like get up to no good, whatever, like bang models and actresses and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But as time went by, like the reality set in, and then suddenly Instagram came in and hit us with a big 1-2, and now we're looking at all that stuff, and then you have all these guys who are like, oh, I do this in my sleep. I slept 3 hours a day, woke up, hit a PR on bench, trained jiu-jitsu, ran like 30K,
Well,
ate clean
I
the
don't know
whole day.
how these guys, you see them like with the 4-hour sleeps, like, and then they're like, it's like, they wake up in the morning and they have their like, peanut butter and Ezekiel bread, and then like hit their home gym and then drop the kids off, and then
like, read 30 books. And then I checked my bank account today. I had $1 million more than I did yesterday. Some bullshit like that. So that's the
it's
thing.
like,
right?
I try to read 4 books.
And then everyone's hitting you with the, they kind of guilting you, like, you have the same 24 hours as Beyonce.
Dude, like, I think books are overrated. Not like you, because these guys be like, oh, like, if you're not reading it, you're like slipping, you're falling, and like, oh, I read this book, changed my life.
Yeah,
huh?
so
I'm like, what kind of book is there that like it's like how much stuff is there that you're consuming that's like really like, oh, I read this and you're like, oh, I never knew about this. You know?
plenty, dude. I'd say so. I mean, look, you gotta read the right things, obviously.
No, but also in terms of like what's gonna help you. Yeah, I can read up on like, you know, I don't know, like STDs or some shit. But like, what's like actually gonna like that I read it and I'm like, yo, shit, like this just like blew my mind and like,
I will look. I don't think anything's gonna blow our mind at this stage.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Listen to
No,
JRE now. Oh, listen out, listen out, listen out.
Nah, there's a couple good books out there, but we're definitely getting sidetracked. I'll give you some recommends later. But and when I say books, I mean audiobooks.
Audible.com, guys.
Shout out Audible. No,
I actually downloaded an audiobook not too long ago.
yeah, yo, we got like the unofficial book club, because like my boys got his Audible and you can share your password with like 5 guys. So we're all on it, and like the topics range. I mean, I have literally contributed nothing to that Audible account, so like it's all everybody else's stuff. So I'm just kind of like taking whatever. But there's some good stuff on there, man. Honestly, and like I will be 1,000% honest. I've never really listened to an entire book all the way through, because some of those are like, you know, 50-hour. I'm like, no way, dude, no way.
I actually,
But like usually I get like, yeah, I get a.
let me see
fair
if I
amount.
can just like pull up the name. So actually,
Is it the subtle art of not giving a fruit?
so what is it called? So I actually saw it on. I was watching something and yeah, so it's called Managing Oneself, and it's by Peter Drucker. I actually saw it on Firas Zahabi. He was
Okay.
on. He said like, because he was talking about like how it's not like talent or whatever. It's sort of like being I guess like predisposed to certain things. So like if let's say like an athlete, for example, you know, you have fast twitch muscle, things like that, blah blah blah. Certain guys have a certain build, so you know they're explosive fighters, blah blah blah. But this is like everything. It's interesting. But I didn't go through the whole thing, but it's pretty interesting so far. It also gives like examples of
Yeah.
you know like like you know politicians, things
Yeah.
like that. Like you know this guy, like you know he says like this guy's a reader, this guy's a listener.
Yeah.
You see when he gets rid of these people, you know he fails because blah blah. So it's like some it's interesting. So you know
I mean, I really used to consume a lot of this stuff, like the audiobooks and the podcasts, like
yeah
obviously when I had the time, right? So like obviously now at work I do listen to music,
yeah.
but I can't listen to words because I won't be paying attention.
Okay.
Usually the music I play just kind of fades into the background. Like I'll play some house or you know electro or something, stuff I don't really listen to.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing like Kanye or something like that, I'll be singing along to it, and I won't be focusing on my work. But you know, so I don't really get a chance to listen to anything of substance there. And then obviously when I come out here, I have to socialize, you know, do that stuff, and it's not like the old days, you know. Like I remember I used to play RuneScape and or not even RuneScape, like even like the past couple of months, just like I'll be grinding like some Street Fighter or like playing some Tekken or whatever, and I'll just put on like a pod or an audiobook in the back.
Yeah.
And then suddenly 3 hours have gone by, and I'm like, ooh, I'm a little smarter, you know. Well, I'm not a little smarter, but like not smarter at all. I just know a little more, you know. Or at least
I mean,
feel like
I
do.
think like pods are a good way of like
Yeah.
getting info, but
But
I don't
that's the thing.
know.
Well, you see, that's the thing. It's like it's one of the biggest criticisms we had. At least I had of Joe Rogan was like, it's all super surface level. He does a good job of showing people the door, but most
Yeah.
of the time people don't open it, and they kind of think they know what's on the other side from the door. You know, he'll just say something, and of course, man, he's like he says this all the time himself, right? And all these big pod guys, they say that stuff all the time. They be like, "Yo, man, we're not experts. We may have the expert on, but even then, sometimes an expert is like, what? You know what I mean?" Guys will just pull out their own.
I mean,
opinion.
even with the experts, it's like a guy will be like, "Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, your REM cycle is like 2 hours and
Yeah.
blah blah." Like, so it's like, all right, like cool, you know, or like there'll be someone who's like, "Oh, stay away from carbs," and you know,
yeah,
like,
whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing is, this stuff is really great to show you the way and open the door and get you to think about stuff. Because
Yeah.
the number one thing I like about Joe Rogan is he doesn't like keep too many preconceived notions about a lot of things. Yeah, he does for a lot of things, sure, but like for the most part, he likes to keep an open mind about the bizarre, right? And that's the whole idea about keeping an open mind and
Yeah.
and learning stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when like some of the biggest criticism remember that girl Greta Thunberg that like 16-year-old girl with Asperger's who spoke at the UN against President Trump. She's like, "Yo, you guys need to take action about climate change and whatever." And there was a lot of support for her. There's also a lot of hate. A lot of guys like, "Yo, who's this kid? You know, got to know her place and whatever." And so I listened to some of the hate to kind of see like what the deal was, and some of the more intelligent criticism was like, bro, people are not thinking for themselves. They just like whoever picks up the mic is suddenly like the champion, you know. And it's kind of the same thing. Like whoever's got a mic, even I mean, if there's some guys out there listening to us, hopefully there's at least a few. But if they're taking everything we say as gold, they're just
genius.
Dumbasses, you know. Don't do that shit.
Why, man? The bars, dude. Guys, don't listen to this. What are you trying to do, man?
No. Look. What I really wanted to do with this, and the reason I love listening to pods and audiobooks and stuff, is it gets you on the path. It shows you the start line at least, or at least where the start line could be, and it's on you to go and find your own stuff. Now, in the ideal world, if we all had plenty of time on our hands and we could research every topic thoroughly for ourselves, sure, that'd be great. But we don't, so we'd like to listen to experts. But now I think in this day and age, now everything's up for question.
But I mean, for me, this like, I don't want it to be like education. I just wanted like people to see the personality and like,
no, it's I mean it's a good.
Why am I not in a movie? I don't.
No, I mean look, if I was hard qualified at something, and I pulled up and I made an educational podcast, I'll focus on that. But I'm not, man. We're just two guys in our 20s, like talking shit. And hopefully it's some sweet shit.
I mean, look, I think conversation, it's like, this is a big part of just like humans, right? Sort of socialist beings and blah blah whatever. Again, even there, we could do some research. But anyway, it's like, it's one of those things. Like when I listen to it, it's like someone having a conversation. Now, sometimes if I'm very interested, I'm gonna really be for like a lot of the time. This shit's just like playing in the back, and whatever. I'll be like working on my stuff, whatever. So like sometimes I mean I don't go to it to learn anything because like most of the time I don't learn. But it's entertaining, and even things like like funny things like. I think like even stand up and stuff, it's gotten to a point where it's like, it's hard to like, like laugh at stuff. I don't know, I guess because we're so exposed. So like in podcasts, because it's like conversational, I actually find some of that like funnier than actually like watching like stand up or like a show, because it's like like when like we're talking and stuff, there's a lot of like jokes, whatever. But like if it was like, oh, like Danny, tell me a joke, like that'd be like, so I think like things like, why? Why, you thought of a joke?
No, I was just thinking about like how when I was a kid, I'm just looking at this stuff in front of me. I used to take this stuff, like these movies, as like law, I used to act like it sometimes. I used to dress like Tony Soprano. I actually got called out for trying to be like E from Entourage one time.
Trying to be like E?
Yeah.
Well, like Ginger?
No, like just I don't know, man. There's just some of my mannerisms and stuff like that. And I'm that kind of guy.
Seriously?
Man. Yeah, straight up. I remember it was like New Year's Eve, like 2013 or something like that. And one of the older guys, he's just like he's making jokes about people, and he goes, "Yeah, and Danny's just trying to be E from Entourage." And I was so shook. I was like, "Fuck." People can see, you know what I mean? I think that was sort of the beginning of being self-aware. Nah, I'm teasing. But
I'm trying to think if I ever like
emulate
had a reality check.
No, I mean I just that's what I used to do a lot when I was a kid. Like everything, even the games in there. Like I used to run around going like, "Oh, request cat in pace." Shout out Ezio, from Assassin's Creed. Just do some silly shit like that, man. I used to emulate like whatever I used to see, and slowly take all those elements and build a personality.
Like same. I mean that's what we sort of grew up on. That's like what we knew. Like that was like the gold standard.
Yeah, that was the shout out Ari Gold. That was the gold standard. For us anyway. At least that's kind of what
like I wanted to be like Ari, like just the stuff he'd say, and
I wanted to be able to go into like the guy who fired me and like pull out a paintball gun and just shoot Adam Davies. I wanted to shoot Adam Davies, man.
I remember that scene, just yelling, "Adam Davies!"
Yeah.
I remember. What is he even?
He was looking for Lloyd as well.
No, I remember. What did Adam Davies say to him? There's that one episode. I remember they race because he gets a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I think Adam Davies has a Porsche, and then they race.
Yeah.
And then I think he says something to him. Does he say something about his wife or something?
No, so what he does is so they're like pranking each other.
Yeah.
So he sends him like a bag of shit, Ari sends him like human shit. And I remember that he's like shit, Lloyd, shit, yours if it comes to it, something like that. And then Davey sends him like male strippers.
Oh yeah.
And like T.I. was in the office.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then I think honestly no, I think I'm getting the episodes mixed
I
up.
think he says something about
But
his
like,
wife
yeah,
or
but
something.
no. So Ari sends him a picture of like his Adam Davies, his girlfriend.
Ooh, yeah.
Who like offered to bang Ari back.
Offered
in
to
the
blow
office.
him in the break
blow him
room
in
or
the-
whatever.
He's like I never did it, but I kept the text or the nudes or whatever, right? And he sends it to Davies, and Davies is like, yeah, but I dumped that bitch a couple years ago.
And now
but
I'm
here's
dating
your-
a Miami Heat cheerleader or something.
yeah. And then he's like, but here's something of your wife, okay? And because like Ari's wife in the show did like a topless photo or something like that, and Ari loses it. And he pulls up to the office and he goes like,
And he
jokes are
slaps
jokes.
the-
Yeah, he goes like, jokes are jokes, but that's the mother of my kids. So now you apologize. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And Davies doesn't take him seriously. He just bitch slaps him. All right, and Ari bitch slaps him, and it was like,
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, and I was like, dude,
Yeah,
I'm
know.
finna do that one day.
That was one of those things. I was like,
I saw that. I was like, yo, if someone disrespects my woman like that, mother of my kids, like, it's getting done. You know what I mean? But now, obviously things are okay. Maybe I don't know. If that happens now, probably I'm still a bit of a kid, so I might do it. But I don't know, man. Like it's all that stuff's kind of fading a little bit. Like I wouldn't act so much a certain way. It's part of growing up, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, I guess
I got told the other day that I seem a little more grown up, but my old boss actually.
okay.
So yeah, this weekend was fun. I went to go meet a friend of mine from 10-something years ago. He used to be my neighbor in the compound back in Bahrain. And like we moved apart, whatever. He was half Scottish, half Bahraini. He went to Scotland, did high school, uni, whatever. He came out here for some work and we linked up. And I went to the wrong hotel, and he was in another one. And when I went to the wrong hotel, I saw my old boss there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, like cool. So I just I said hi, whatever. And she's like, oh, you seem a little more grown up. And I just started smiling like a goofball, and I was like, am I a little more grown up? I don't know. And then I went to go talk to my friend, and he said the same thing. I met him out. I was like, yo, haven't seen you in 10 years. What's up? And we were reminiscing about how we were kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, dude, maybe I have grown up a little bit.
I could see like from uni and stuff.
Yeah.
Like especially like in the beginning, like first second, like first 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess like work and all those things.
Yeah, and then that kind of capped off this entire week, because that was yesterday, that was Saturday, because this entire week was like a nostalgia week, like I had a bit of an episode like a couple days ago where I was just like I had hit with this wave of nostalgia, and I was like, oh man, you know what I mean, like where did time go? What the hell? I'm 23 now. I was just thinking back, even 2012 was 7 years ago. It was a long time ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. I don't even remember being that kid. I started looking at old game videos, like I used to look at San Andreas gameplay and stuff like that. There's a couple old nostalgia vids, and I listened to some old tracks, and I was like, dude, man, how old am I now? And we were just talking about this downstairs. We were like, oh, in a couple years, what were we talking about? We said like it's gonna be harder to go to the gym in a couple years.
Oh yeah,
about
like
right?
fitness and things.
Yeah, and
because we were actually talking about how if we had known about newbie gains and how when we was like 16, 17 working out, like you could like make gains so fast and easy. Like if you hit like bicep curls for a week, you could actually see like veins coming out and actually size making.
It just dawned on me now because I was just talking about that, and I was 16 7 years ago, but I'm actually closer to being 30 than I am closer to being 16 now.
Dude, I was 16 10 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, feels wild.
Time flies, huh? And I just met up with one of my friend's dads on Friday, and the last time I saw him was a year ago, and he was like, "It's been a year," and he was like, "Yeah, that is like, what did he say?" He said something. It was kind of a dad joke, but just kind of made a lot of sense and made me feel a little bad for a second. He was like, "Yeah, that was a long time ago, and it went by so fast," or something corny like that. And it was fun. I laughed and I was like, oh yeah, shit, man, that was a year ago,
Yeah.
And this time last year was like, November 29th is when I started my previous gig.
Oh damn, it's been a year.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Yeah. So I mean, just thinking about like, how long has it been since like uni and stuff? It's been
over a year and a bit, a year and 3 months.
Dude, it's been a long time for me, man.
Yeah.
Like more than like almost 3 years, like in like a couple months. But Yeah, I don't know, man. Wow. But even like just like thinking about this, like the whole movie thing, like I remember like even as a kid, I was so like influenced because like, and I was like watching everything. So it was like the Hollywood, the Bollywood, and then these two, and I was just like a very like dramatic like kid, and like I don't know, I was as also like I'm not gonna lie, I was like attention seeking motherfucker. So I was like, I was just trying to like get something from a character. If I saw something like even some like Johnny Drama, like just like him being that outlandish, like he just say some dumb shit. Like even me like trying to do that, like just man, I'm glad I didn't turn out like that. But
Hey, he wins an Oscar technically in canon. In the movie, he wins an Oscar. So
Johnny Drama.
in the Entourage movie, he wins an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, right?
Oh yeah.
Even because Mark Wahlberg was reading the speech and he was like, and the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor goes to, you fucking kidding me, Johnny Drama?
Damn, man.
No, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how is it now. Like, do you have like the 5-year plan and all this stuff?
Just to cap off what we were just talking about. So it was kind of like a Debbie Downer week,
Okay.
and even we hit up. We'll talk about that later. But like, what's it
Big
called?
booty.
The whole nostalgia thing, I kind of felt I was like, man, where's time flying? What I don't know what I'm gonna be 30, and then I'm gonna be dead. All that stuff, fear of death.
Really?
Came up. Yeah, all that stuff came up this week, but then it kind of ended on a good note when it was like, dude, we came so far, but see how far we come, kind of thing. And a lot of the things I said I wanted to do as a kid, I kind of I'm doing now, and I'm kind of living up to that. Like being in a big old house with like a bunch of my friends. Just like kind of doing whatever I want to do, being like, I wanted to learn how to fight when I was a kid, and I'm doing that right now. I wanted to learn I wanted to be like a quick driver when I was a kid, and by no means am I a fast driver, but I'm getting there now. Stuff like that. 10 years ago, I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to work as a DJ.
Got the pod.
And now we got the pod right now, I mean, it took fucking 10 years, it took 9 years, 10 years, but we got to it.
It's the new radio, though.
Yeah, I wanted to, lots of things, man. I wanted to wear suits to work, and I mean, I ain't wearing suits to work right now, but pull up sometime. Could do, actually. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll go cop a suit and go wear it to work just to satisfy that quick kid thing, I want to,
dress for the position you want.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it is kind of like, like I said, we come so far, but see how far we come.
I had a downer week just because I was like, just thinking about like what I'm doing, and like I was one of those I was thinking about. I'm like, I wasn't like very happy with what I'm doing and stuff, and it's like gotta make some even like with like the work stuff, because like I was doing the YouTube thing. I actually just checked today, so. It's been like less than 2 months. Hit about 5,300.
Oh shit! We got a celebrity in the flesh.
Which honestly, I was like surprised. I didn't think it would be like this much.
Yeah.
So that's nice, but it's obviously still like so and that's one of those things where it's like, like this shit, like it takes work. Like even like I know it's like, oh, I'm playing games or whatever, but this time I don't want to play. But I gotta do it because of like whatever, and like do that. And then like recording and then editing, like it's not an easy thing, right? And then do that, and I'm like, kind of getting nothing out of it, right?
Just so everybody knows, Omar's kind of the pillar of support for the pod, because he's the one who takes all the footage home, cuts it up, uploads it, whatever. I pretty much just lend my voice, and like that's pretty much it. I didn't even buy the mics; my bro did that. So
So yeah, like it's one of those things where I'm like, like. I don't know. I feel like I'm, in that form, I do feel my life is compromised. I ain't getting bread at all, and just in general, man, I feel like it's like I'm like, dude, I really let myself go, man. I feel like fat and shit. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, gotta like get back on the grind, man. And I'm just like, so like before I'd still like try.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like. Oh, I'm craving something sweet. Let me eat an ice cream, and then my mom got some. Like, let me eat some donut. I was like, just like nothing. Like, no care at all. So it's one of those things where it was like, I don't know. It's just like, just overwhelmed like me. Like, and I was like, fuck. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then it also like just like all that stuff then caused me to be lazy. Then I don't get
Mm.
shit done. And
Mm.
so gotta figure out like a.
You ever feel like you're behind your peers?
Not really, man. 'Cause my peers ain't doing shit. uh, no, like I mean, not really. Like sometimes, yeah, in a way, I do see like some guys are doing well, some guys not. But it's like, I don't pay mind like that. But I sort of just look at it myself, like, with this much time, I feel like I should have, like, done some more.
Mm.
But it's cool with it. Like I understand, like everyone's journey is different.
Mm.
So it's just I don't pay that too much mind, but I do like I don't want to sort of just be like get consumed and then it's like lost. Like what am I doing? And like because I am like starting to like by 30 you gotta have your shit together, right? And I'm not too far away from that. And I guess it's one of those things because like like the kind of guys I grew up around, like a lot of them was like comfortable financially, like pops. So even if they're doing shit now, it's like I had a buddy who like went to study like medicine or now he's like works in like he's like in film school or some shit. He was there, and it's like I don't think he's making bread off of these like fucking little documentaries or whatever. But it's like okay, like he's doing that, or like I have someone who has like a small business, and it's not like like that business isn't like really what's like you eating on, but it's like okay, you got like a little hustle. Someone's got like another hustle where it's just like hard work, dedication, but nothing. So it's just like it's not like So in that case, I'm kind of happy. I would have thought like I don't know, fuck all, and it's like I'd be behind, but it's actually not too bad. Like I think like 3 good months and I'll be on par. So
there's always the potential of what you could do, but then there's the reality of what you did do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also like because sometimes I'll be like, I want to enjoy, and and it's like, I don't know. It's also sort of like sitting down, really analyzing like what we gotta do, kind of thing. I listened. I saw something very interesting, and there was this guy. He was talking about like. He said like you see these guys like Steve Jobs, and then they asked them like, why are you successful and shit? And they're like passion, whatever, right? And he was saying he's like, like what do you expect them to say? He said they can't say we're smarter than poor people. Right? That's what he was saying. He's like, what do you say? Right? So that's like the PC answer because people can relate to that, and you're not like diminishing someone else.
You don't believe that stuff. You don't believe if you're like mad passionate about something, you can make moves. You can make waves.
I think so, but I think it's also like, with success comes the passion, right? So for example, you're doing this PR thing.
Yeah.
But let's say like you become a beast at it. Tomorrow someone like headhunts you and then like, we pay you good money.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 and now you're like you're like doing stuff.
Yeah.
So that becomes a passion. It's not just the money, but it's like because people gotta mess with it.
No,
right?
but
like,
I mean, if
I could be passionate about making music.
Yeah.
But if I'm making some garbage music and no one's listening to it, it's like
Nah, but look, facts. Like I think we discussed this earlier, but I mean, even if I'm working some job that's giving me big money.
Yeah.
Well, okay, not big money, like, but what I'm saying, like, like a decent wage. You know? Like, about the same as all my peers are getting, whatever. I'm living pretty comfortable for like a 20-year-old, right? If I'm not into it, then the passion ain't gonna be there. And if the passion isn't there, I mean, I'm not gonna be waking up in the morning.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, it can be some like brutal where it's like, let's say like someone's giving me like 50 G's a month, but I gotta go work on like an oil rig or some shit, right?
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff is like, but I think it's also like, with a bit of success and things like what I'm doing now, it's nice. Like the game.
But see, the success and stuff makes it easier.
Yeah.
It kind of makes the road a little more, it makes it more of a downhill journey.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, but just like easier versus an uphill one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, man, honestly, the perseverance thing is real. And obviously, like, not everyone's going to be a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
But like, literally, just about everyone has the potential to be. Like I have a very strong internal locus of control. Like I say it's all in my hands. It's all in my hands. Like even if it rains tomorrow, I'll be like, shit, I could have done something about that. And I kind of blame myself for a lot of the not too much in a negative way. I think sometimes it gets a little too negative. But
I mean, like obviously I can't look at others, but like if we look at like ourselves, like we don't have an excuse not to be like one day making like
couple mils. Couple
Yeah.
M's. Yeah.
Like we can, you know, no, not that we will, but it's one of those things like
You
I
know-
don't, barring something horrible happening, you know, God forbid something bad happens, but
Like we're getting married. Shout out boomer jokes, baby. Get the boomer jokes in. Nah.
I mean, dude, that's another thing, man. Like I just like, yo, I cannot like I see some young dudes do it,
Mm.
friends, whatever, and I'm just like, no way, like.
I need.
And it's not that like I like the idea of marriage and shit. Like I mean, like it's not like obviously like you know if I didn't have to do it like yeah cool right. But, you know, religion and things like that. But it's not the marriage part. But it's just like I see these young guys who are not like developed at all. They don't have like the career, nothing, and then you're just like diving into this. I think that is just like a recipe for disaster.
No, but then I mean, how do you know sitting where you are? Yeah, okay, sure. You know, we've seen plenty of cases of like, you know, people marry young and then it just blows up in their face.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I mean, at least for me, like that's gotta be like comfort. Like I gotta, you know,
well, like M in the bank before the wife,
easy,
M in the bank,
easy.
and then an M per kid. Are you thinking? I think an M per kid. I'm feeling an M per kid because I want my kid to have a good life.
You see, that's like for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, like now we're talking ideals. Now
Bro, I'm saying standard, bro. I ain't no
Yeah.
ideal. Ideal is like I got like infinity in the bank. You know?
oh yeah,
Billies.
but like, obviously, like you know, one day we're gonna be like very horny and things like you know we're gonna make some stupid decision. So then, like, you gotta kind of like, but for me, like, because I like to be very calculated with stuff. Obviously, things will never go as like no, never go as planned. But a lot of times, it's not gonna go as planned. But if you have the security, you know, you can sort of do something. And you know, it's one of those things my dad like ingrained in me since I was a kid was like financial independence, and just like because you're just free to do whatever you want. And I don't mean with your spouse or whatever. Like, don't be doing some freaky shit, guys. But it's just like, you know, when it comes to work, with your business, what like no, like when you got the money, no one tell you shit,
Financial freedom, my only hope.
right? So,
Can I finish the lyric?
oh, yeah, man.
What was it? Fuck being rich and dying broke. Shout out Jay Z.
So I mean, I don't know. For me, when I seen some of these guys, I'm like, yo, no way. Like, and I know like some of these guys are confident they'll make it one day, and I hope they do. But for me, yo, I gotta have it first, you know. But then you see, like again, now it's in ideals. But let's say we approach that 30, 32, 34, and you know it's still like, you know, let's say you got like half M. You know, what are you doing? And you know, you got a shawty, and you know, even she's getting old, and she's like, yo, G, wagwan. You know. So you see, a situation like that, you gotta be like, you know, like that's what I say. At least, like I say, like, what I like is like M in the bank, and just like, even if it's not an M in the bank, it's some money and just like a trajectory, and a good one. Not like, oh, I just started a few years CEO. Like, no, but like, if I'm in a field I like,
Yeah.
I can see a future in the field. I can see I'm good at it. I have the qualification, whatever, boom. Then I can say, all right, like, I got some saved up, and I can see like, you know, I got some vision. But like right now, it's like, you know, it's like no position at all. And it's like stupid when I see like my grandma and shit, like, oh, tell me I look for what? I'm like, I can't take care of myself. Like, you want to take care of someone else? Like, like, that's like.
Nah, so I got an earful about this on Friday. My hairdresser, actually, who I love taking advice from her. Shout out Constantina. I was telling her, she's like, how's things? Is this good? Whatever, work, job, whatever. I was like, yeah, good. And she's like, so, you know, how you feeling, whatever. And I was like, look, I know in 5 years I got to be doing this. And, you know, in 10 years I got to be doing this. And she gave me like a little smack upside the head. She's like, you're 23. Why are you making all these plans? You know? And I'm like, yo, it's good to have plans, no? And she's like, yeah, it's cool to have ideals of where you want to be. But just like live your life, man. Let shit happen to you. You know what I mean? Like, don't close yourself off from all these opportunities. Like, I mean, I remember for a time I was like, nah, man, we got to stay at home, save every penny because, you know, we got to invest in I don't know. I think I was telling you or like one of my boys about that. And I just didn't go out for like 3 months. I just became like a sad sack sitting at home, like doing absolutely nothing. Mind got stagnant, etc., etc. She's like, yo, live your life. Be, you know, exercise some discipline and some, you know, some, what's the word? Common sense, you know. But like, just don't like, think too far ahead, because nothing's gonna work out if it's gonna be like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe she has a point. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna take her too literally,
Yeah.
but maybe she does have a bit of a point on, letting things develop
I,
naturally.
I think like it's also a balancing act. Like
Yeah,
like
man, of course, balance is the answer. Yeah,
no
of
no,
course.
but I've legit seen like guys who are making a shit ton of money, and they had these spending habits where YOLO dude, and living the life, and then like legit like broke. So it is one of those things, like at least for me, like I'm like careful with that stuff. I know like how
I was just on Friday. I was talking to this girl. She's just a bit older than me, but she's doing really well for herself at her age. And I mean, I always seeing her on Instagram and stuff like that, and she looks like she's living like a high life. Like the Ritz this day, and this whatever, going out. Like she's always dressing nice, looks good.
yeah.
And we were just having a conversation with her, and I mean, I think I hope maybe she's listening to this. I don't know, but she was just having a conversation with her, and she's like, "Yo, I don't know how to save any money," and that kind of made me like look like that, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "How are you living like this? But you're not saving?" I was like, "Swear, are you like paycheck to paycheck?" I didn't ask her that, but that's what I was thinking in my head, And then that kind of was a bit of a
Because the
reality check.
accountant in us, like in the brownies, we gotta be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, and then she was just
Yeah.
kind of like, being thingy about it, and she was talking about some decent money, and like, I was like, damn, man, like, here I thought everybody had their head on straight, and I was like 10 years behind the game.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like everyone's in the same place. At least, I mean, not everyone's in the same place, but like,
yeah.
you never really know who's doing really well and who's not.
Yeah.
It's all kind of balanced out. And this one of the older guys was telling us, he was like, "Yo, man, chill out. You're in your 20s. Stop holding yourself to such a high standard," which I feel is good advice, to take in and add to that balancing act. But then I got some other advice from my boy, and he's like, "Dude,
excellence.
and then my boy's like, he's like, "Yo, man, you gotta disregard all the nice shit you like doing in your life." He's like, "Yo, quit jujitsu, quit doing this, quit doing this. Like, sell your car, do all that stuff, and just focus on making that money. Focus on, the improvement."
Brown excellence.
Yeah, I mean, he's Egyptian, but okay. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm talking about us.
Yeah. He's like, "Yo, man, just focus on laying those foundations, because you have a whole life to enjoy yourself and this and that." And then, I mean, like from past experience, I know that life is not too long for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Especially sometimes with our lifestyle. Definitely, so it's like, I mean, damn, I wish, obviously, if I had the answer, I'd give it to all of you guys.
But it's one of those things, like if someone just dies at like a young age, whatever. Like, it's not like when you're dying, it's like, oh man, if only I ate that Cinnabon.
Yeah, okay, we're not thinking about that, but like I'm
Yeah.
thinking about like, oh, yo, I should have maybe gone to my friend's birthday party instead of canceling on him and staying in to like, stress over work or whatever. Or it should have been like, damn, I should have paid some attention early on in school, so I would have gone to a place where I feel happy with myself.
Yeah.
I feel like some self-esteem. So the whole thing is like, have no regrets, right? And it's not just like you can't just like hit a switch and be like, okay, I regret nothing. There's a lot of bullshit I regret in my life. You know what I mean? But the idea is that when they say, I think at least the way I interpret it, or the way I like to interpret it, is when they say have no regrets, it's kind of like leave no stone unturned and kind of do as much as you can.
Yeah.
So you feel happy with that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to do as much. Like right now, I just want to go to bed. Like my bed is right there, and I just want to go to sleep. But I'm like, nah, man. I love this shit. I gotta do the pod. Then afterwards, I gotta go back to my boy's house, spend some time with the family. Like everyone had some stuff they want to talk about, this and that. I gotta do that stuff. But I also gotta make sure I sleep at a reasonable hour.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you, right? Like I slept at like 12:30 last night. Woke up at like 4:50 in the morning, and obviously I knew if I went back to sleep, I was gonna miss work. I was like, dude, I can't do that. So I was like nodding off in the office, and I had a really long day as well, stuff like that. And then, okay, so tomorrow after the office, what could I do? I could come home and sleep, right? But now I gotta hit jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I gotta do that stuff, So I kind of want to leave no stone unturned. And yeah, it gets pretty exhausting. Definitely, man. And some days I just want to chill out. And then the thing is, when you have your friends and stuff like that, everyone wants to chill. Like I just got a text the other day from some guy I haven't spoken to in like a year and a half. He's a good guy, but I'm like, dude, do I gotta make time for this now? Even yesterday, I spent way too much time meeting up with that guy from 10 years ago, like my friend from 10 years ago, And then, it's a long weekend, next weekend, and everyone's making plans. And I'm just like, nah, dude, I don't want to do that. I want to do this other stuff. And then you kind of feel like a dick for canceling on people, but then you have to take your own interest into account. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, okay, so if you are taking your own interest into account, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit around and watch Netflix all day? Which I guess you're kind of allowed to do. But then, would you miss out on having like a blast with your boys? You know, stuff like that, man. So when you say like balance is obviously the answer, but it's like what parts of what? You know what I mean? Like how much of this? You know, how much masala? How much? You know,
I mean, that's the
whatever,
thing.
you
Like
know what I mean?
sometimes, like even just like being with the boys and like sometimes I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just this thing in me, like yo, like that's protocol, so we do it, and like
So for what Thursday night was it? We went out.
yeah,
So for Thursday night, I was actually kind of getting sick. I
uh,
was like, I had a little bit of a headache and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, man, F this shit. I don't want to go out tonight.
yeah.
You know? But we couldn't miss that. We could not miss that, you know? We missed it was a very good friend of ours. It was her 25th. It's actually her 25th next week, but she had the party on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was like a 2-day rager, quote unquote. And the name of the party, Omar, I'm gonna let you do this one, man.
No, you got this.
I got this one.
Alley-oop. Yeah.
All right, I got it. So the name of the party was the Big Booty Ball.
And
Yeah.
that's all for the episode.
Nah, so the Big Booty Ball, I mean, I don't know. Me and him was talking about it before.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, yeah, we gotta go. But like, what's it gonna be, man, you know? Is it gonna be like 30 dudes and like is it gonna be like some outrageous shit like a booty cake and like
Because
people gonna be
that's the
drunk
thing with
everywhere?
parties. Like you never know. Like I was just like I've been to some like bro, it's gonna be lit, whatever, and it's
It's like 3 dudes and they're just like, yeah, so man,
I've seen some. I've seen some shady stuff at parties. I've seen some.
Yeah, but I don't know. I had fun this one. Did you? Had
This
some fun?
was nice. Yeah, I thought the vibe was cool. People was friendly.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was expecting some gems.
Yeah, we got some good ones.
Because like me and Danny, we like to get some material to just add to our sort of like these characters we have, but we didn't get too much of that. But it was chill. It was a decent time. Like what, 2 hours?
2 out, bro. We spent like 4 there, man.
Really?
Yeah, we pulled up at like what, like
No.
10? Gee, I left
We
at like
pulled up
1.
around like 10, and then we left at what,
like 1? No,
yeah, so 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even that, like, most of the time, we're like, yo, so we're gonna bounce in 15.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like just
2
like,
hours later.
and then like exiting, and then
No, but I got home at like must have been.
Oh yeah, because you went with your boys.
Yeah,
after,
so I mean, I dropped Omar off home, and I went out with my boys, and we actually got like we got some grub and some junk food at the gas station, and we pulled up to like our old uni.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a memory lane, but also like we're talking about how we had a real DMC that night, man. Talking about like emotions and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We talked about the future because I mean, 3 of my boys are getting ready to go to Canada, gonna move out there and get on with their lives.
They got this already, like
No, I mean they submitted all the stuff and they're just waiting on the approvals and all.
Oh,
that.
they submitted the stuff.
Yeah. So
damn.
once that's in, then they're out.
Oh wow.
And
so
all
they're,
yeah,
like, in the
so
deep
yeah,
end.
so the 3 of them are moving together, and they're gonna do it out there, man. Toronto, conquer the 6, and then we're all discussing like, yo, are we gonna grow apart? Or are we gonna like, are they gonna get sick of each other because they live with each other? Because I mean, I live with some of my boys now, but like I mean, it's a pretty big house, so like we don't really see each other too often if we don't want to. And also, it's just like the tribe is like a drive away, like 10-second drive away if need be, or I could just lock myself in one of the rooms, just play video games, whatever. You don't have to see anybody if you don't want to.
And like the everyone's because one of your boys in college, your work.
Yeah. And we all got some different stuff to talk
Yeah.
about. Like one of the guys is still in high school.
Not just like talk about, but like because you guys don't even like see each other.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you'll be at work, they're in
Yeah,
college,
yeah,
assignment, blah blah.
Yeah,
whatever.
but even in like the summer and stuff, like when we were
Yeah.
all around, like sometimes it did get a little suffocating. I was like, I don't want to see these guys anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're fighting for the TV or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just boys being boys. And then that was my entourage, man. Honestly, that was like my entourage lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because it would just be, we just did whatever. You know what I mean?
That's actually like what I had like planned with like some of my cousins. They said we want to live like have like a side, sideman.
Yeah,
And they got like the house and stuff because
Yeah.
we always like game and shit, especially like when Fortnite was popping.
Yeah.
And we was like, yo, like if we just because sometimes we just get on the party just to like talk shit, like the like even though we're not, but like we'd be just on GTA like driving around whatever. But that's the vibe. So it's like, yo, like one day like that's like the
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, you know, if those things, because I do think, like, you know, in the future people grow up and
Yeah, you know, I think once as soon as one of us gets a girlfriend, things are gonna be different.
yeah, and then
Who
like
knows, yeah.
being your own guy and like I don't know, there's
Yeah.
like so many variables.
It's a
and-
tricky one to
yeah.
balance, but I mean,
Yeah.
for the longest time for me, and a lot of it has to do with these shows and these movies and stuff I grew up
Yeah.
watching. A lot of it for me was like, yo, friends of the family you choose. I was really a lot of the time I was closer to my friends than I was my own family.
Yeah.
So you know, I always envisioned, like, since like maybe 10 years old, I envisioned, like, you know, living that entourage lifestyle, or even the Sopranos lifestyle, because you know they got a family, you
Yeah.
know, like the mob family and whatever. And I was like,
Oh,
dude, you know,
I saw my kids to like kiss my hand like,
yeah.
when I would like walk in from work.
And yeah, I wanted all of us to be like, you know, multiple M's in the bank, big houses, supercars all around. You know, and we all just kind of like govern ourselves, and like we just kind of, you know, like everyone's like, you know, going in on one guy, probably me, about some girl stuff. And I'll be like, nah, man, I love her. And they'd be like, oh, come on, bro. Like, you know, pussy's pussy, bro. You know, whatever, you know what I mean? I kind of wanted that growing up, you know, and I kind of did have a version of it. Obviously, nothing's going to be exact, but I did have a version of it, and I fucking loved it. But I also know that it's time to go out there and test myself and, like, acquire the skills and the knowledge required to, like, actually get to making M's. Because, I mean, you know, contrary to my belief as a kid, that stuff doesn't just materialize overnight.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know, G, are you going to be in any movies? Are we going to move out to LA anytime soon? I don't know. I don't think it's in the cards.
I mean,
right now.
for me, honestly, like, you know, when you said the balance, I think like I've messed around enough where I think now I gotta shift the balance, and it's gotta be like 80% like trying to grind and 20% BSing around. But on that note, guys, you know, on the positive note, you know,
Okay. Oh,
that
we
you
are?
lived your entourage life and, you know, things like that. Yeah. So
Damn, man.
on a positive note, we'll end that.
Oh,
You know,
just,
live
oh,
in
you
the
want to
entourage
just want
life.
you quick one? Just shout out to the fight, the Wilder fight. Did you don't watch it, right?
I didn't watch the fight, man. I didn't get it. I didn't wake up, and then like I didn't see like even highlights on YouTube, so I can't really.
Okay. We'll talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
next
there's
week
some
then.
other like stories too, like Floyd coming back and AJ
Yeah,
and
there's a lot.
stuff.
AJ Ruiz. That's gonna be next
We
week.
can
isn't it?
actually. So next weekend we'll do that, and then we can also do like the breakdown or
Yeah.
Joshua Ruiz too.
Yeah. But that's on the 7th of December. That's the week after.
Yeah, so it'll be
next.
the week after. So
Yeah.
you know.
We'll get some
yeah.
ideas down. I also
Yeah.
want us to do album of the decade because we're coming to an end of the decade. I want to see
Okay.
which are not album, but maybe top 25, top 10, whatever you guys decide. I don't know.
Yeah. Let us know, like, you
Yeah.
guys want, because I was thinking we do like maybe our top 10, so it's more like a, you know,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
so you
For
guys
us.
get to know like what kind of shit influenced us and
And
stuff.
also, what F1 this weekend? So that's gonna be a big one. Yo, it's stacked, man.
Oh yeah.
We got some big stuff coming up. Cool.
All right, cool guys.
All right, peace,
I hope
guys.
you guys
Take care.
enjoyed the
Yeah.
podcast.
The
Please
usual. What's it like?
like
Subscribe.
and subscribe.
Yeah, all that stuff. You know.
And also, yeah, guys, please like let us know you want us to talk about something.
if we suck, we suck. Let us
Uh,
know.
And yeah, please
You
send
know.
in some stuff. Hey, like, you know, you guys need some advice from some, you know, some genius. No, not some genius. But whatever, like, you know,
Yeah,
if you got
yeah,
something going
sure,
on, we
you
can
know.
like talk about it, share it with the community, whatever. Like,
It's good to
you
talk
know.
about stuff.
So yeah, guys, please like and
Alright.
subscribe. We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.